now. Okay, slope day 2. Yesterday, it looked super similar to this, except it said from graphs, and we had all these graphs that we counted. Today, from 2 points. So we need a different strategy if we're going to use the points. So here's our strategy. This part that we didn't do yesterday. Vertical change goes on the top, and horizontal change goes on the bottom. Think of vertical. Are you thinking of it? Is this vertical?
No.
No. Vertical would be, here's our choices, X or Y. Y! Thank you, Godiva. So on the top, I'm going to tell you what this means in a moment. We have 2 Y's, and we're going to subtract them. One of them is called Y2, and one of them is called Y1. Are you writing with me? Oh, my pencil broke. Oh, you have another one? Horizontal. Here's our choices, X or Y. X numbers. X2 minus X1. You're fine. Did you write this? It looks like it doesn't make any sense at this moment, but it's going to, I promise. Okay, so here is our 2 points that you have right below that. And here's what I do. It doesn't matter which one is which, but I always just go in order. I call this one group 1, and I call this one group 2. You could have the opposite and it would still work, but I just go in order. This group 1, I would put anywhere that I had a 1. And then the group 2 numbers would go anywhere that I had those 2s. So if I'm going to pick the Y from group 2, which one of these is the Y? 3. Some people in first hour even started putting X, Y on the top. It really helped them. So in this first spot, I need to pick the Y from group 2. Here's group 2, and this is Y. So Y2 jumps out, 3 jumps in. Then I need the Y from group 1. Here's group 1. What's the Y?
6.
Y1 jumps out, 6 jumps in. Then I have to do the same thing with the X's. X from group 2. X from group 1. Ooh, big plus. Three minus 6.
-3.
4 plus 2. 6. Do you notice anything about that?
No.
Guess what we just found? The slope! Ah! What does the top number mean in slope? The rise, Godiva! Wait, the rise negative?
Just go down.
I can't even see what this graph looks like right now, but I know it's going downhill. What's this number then?
Run.
Run! Down one, run two. Down one, run two. Down one, run two. So it's going downhill over here somewhere. So this is kind of cool about slope. As soon as you can see it, you can kind of picture in your head what the graph is going to be looking like. Nice. Are we okay so far? Guess what we're going to do in the next one? Use this every time. Okay, so our next one, I think I forgot to say this before. These letters are just the names of the dots. So somewhere there's a dot called Q, and somewhere there's a dot called V. We're trying to find the slope of that. So I'm going to call this one group 1, this one group 2. It seemed to me when I was watching First Hour, the people who put a little XY over the top, it seemed to me like they understood what was going on a little bit. So I need to find the Y number from group 2. Now I need to find the Y number from group 1. Now I need the X from group 2. And the X from group 1. And then I do a little solving. Bryn, -7 plus 1. Preston, 0 minus 8.
-8.
Do you see anything about this, Mason?
It can be simplified to 3/4.
Sure thing. Savannah, you might not remember this, that's okay. Do you remember anything about if they're both negative? Layton, do you remember anything if they're both negative? Pete? Yeah. My final answer, whoa, that was a lot. I barely have room. My final answer is 3/4. What does the 3 mean?
Up 3.
Rise 3.
Over 4.
Run 4. Rise 3, run 4. Eventually on the ceiling. Kind of cool. I knew what that graph was going to look like before I even saw the graph. Guess what I should do on this one? Same thing. So I basically labeled everything before I even started. Do you have a group 1? Do you have a group 2? Did you put an X? Did you put a Y? Question?
Does it matter which group is number 1 and 2?
No. Eventually, once you've simplified, it'll be the same. Question, Preston?
I was just wondering, like, when you do the Y from, like, group 2, how do you know, like, if it's plus or minus or, like, what to do?
Always subtract. Unless
Unless it's big
Unless
plus.
it's big plus.
Okay.
So on the top, I have 9 minus 3. And on the bottom, I have negative 10 minus negative 4.
Big plus.
So if I have this. Maddie? And since we want a rise and a run number, let's keep the 1 on the bottom too. Isabel?
I was kind of looking ahead a little bit, and I got -1, and I erased it because I was like, we'll have to have the run part too.
Right. So we're gonna find out tomorrow that sometimes, like if I tell Drake the slope is 2, well, that's not a rise and a run number. So I'll have to put my 2 over 1. Now I have a rise and a run number. So the whole numbers will still have that 1 underneath it. Forever. We just don't always use the 1 underneath it. Like, is your grandma sending you happy 13 over 1 birthday?
No.
No, but there is a 1 under there for a whole number. Did we start these two? If not, will you? Same strategy. Ooh, I like Allie over here. Guess what she did?
Yeah, I didn't want to bring.
I'm sure Preston did.
No, get in my.
Even though we don't like decimals as much as whole numbers, we can still do the same strategy. Oh, this part's interesting though. What does the top mean?
0 rise.
Rise 0?
You can't even. Oh wait. It'll just be a straight line.
Addison and Bryn both found it. If you don't go up at all, it's a horizontal line. That was a special slope from yesterday. Remember it? Or turn back a page in your notes. That's what Maddie did. Maddie?
It's gonna be 0.
I know what. Oh, sheesh. Just got a little excited. I know what this line looks like. Horizontal. The slope can tell us so much about the line. I saw almost everybody get this. What's it telling us?
Up 2 over 5.
Rise 2, run 5. Rise 2, run 5. Rise 2, run 5. It's another at the ceiling one up there. We're kind of getting the hang of it.
Mhm.
Okay, there's one last part in Parker's in my first hour, and he every day says, why do I care about slope? Why? Well, it turns out, Harmon, he's in 8th grade now, you might know him. Subway sandwich artists make $11 per hour. So let's think about this. I know, it is kind of funny that they're called an artist. Mr. Venice, I bet you didn't know this. In college, he was a Subway sandwich artist. You can ask him about it tomorrow. Turns out, this can be an XY chart. Because if Harmon works no hours, he gets no money. What if Harmon works 1 hour? What if he works 2 hours? You guys, it turns out working for Subway is actually a math problem. Huh. I know you don't have a graph, and that's okay. If I was going to graph it, first of all, I probably wouldn't be able to count by ones. Do you agree?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have quite enough room. So maybe 10, 20. So if Harmon works no hours, he makes no money. If he works 1 hour, he makes 11, a tiny bit above 10. If he works 2, what? A linear equation, what? Anyone that you know, oh, I missed it, missed 3, that works for an hourly job. There we go. An hourly job, their pay is based on this linear equation. No, it might not be $11, whatever it is. If you graphed it, it would be a straight line. Men.
Would the slope then be up 10 or would it just be up 1?
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for saying that. She says, what is the slope then? Rise. You're so close.
11.
11.
Yeah.
What? This is a slope? What? Rise 11, run 1. Rise 11, run 1. Rise 11, run 1. Rise 11, run 1. His job is a slope. Bryn.
This is a random question, but I'm curious. But is there a law on the lowest you can
The lowest you can get paid.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like 12 to 14-year-olds and like 16-year-olds get 15, I think.
Do you know anything?
I don't, there is for under 16, but I don't think it's that high, that was 7 something.
Yeah, it's like
And then
$12.
it's, yeah. So,
We don't know what it is,
I
but
don't
there
know
is
what
some.
it is. The 15 one did, I don't think that passed, did it?
I think only in certain cities.
Yes.
So how about this? There's a law for all of Minnesota. We don't know what it is. Certain cities passed a separate thing. I think Minneapolis did. So that's a higher amount in Minneapolis. But it was based on each city. Am I answering your question?
Yeah.
I do not know what the exact number is. Like in Albertville, I don't know it. Good question though. What else was I gonna say? Can't think of it. Last one. Okay, so maybe this isn't, speaking of minimum, maybe this isn't Harmon at Subway. Maybe this is like someone doing chores at your house. So maybe, okay, they don't work at all, but they got $1 for good behavior, maybe. If you don't get in trouble at school, you get $1. If they work 1 hour, now they have $4. This is interesting.
It keeps on going up by 3.
What?
It keeps on going up by 3.
Like this, you're saying? Okay, every time was 3 more. We're calling it dollars. We don't know for sure. Pete?
Well, I kind of like know the equation for it, because there's kind of like a pattern.
Tell me more.
You want, okay, so it's X times 3 plus 1. So like 0 times 3 plus 1 is 1. 1 times 3 plus 1 is 4.
Hey, what if I switched these around and didn't put the dot? We could graph it. This is crazy. This is so crazy. What if I wanted the slope of this? Keep thinking. Ellie and Pete are really onto something. What was the slope of this one? How'd we get that, Ellie?
Each hour you work, you get 11, but wouldn't it be 301?
What? Why?
Because you're adding 3, just adding 1 on one side.
Tell me this one again. Rise numbers would be what? X or Y? So you mean it was right here in the chart?
Yeah.
So run numbers is X? I'm noticing one little thing. Maddie,
Rise 3, run 1.
you're totally right, but look at this.
It's because they skipped 3.
They're trying to trick us. I hate when they do that. How about now? Now does it work?
Yeah.
Okay, yay! So rise 3, run
1.
So maybe this person is getting $3 per hour for all of their chores. If you saw my kindergartner's room right now, there's about 200 Nerf bullets all over the floor.
My cat eats Nerf
It
bullets
might
all
take
the time.
him an hour to clean them all up. Whew. Isma.
My cat likes eating Nerf bullets, and he almost died from eating one.
Oh no, was it in his stomach?
Yeah, it was caused a blockage. It was like last week, I think.
Wow,
It's
good
a,
thing we
it's a
don't have a
baby
cat.
one too.
Whew, I'm glad, is it a he or she? I'm glad he's okay. Does anyone want to ask for more help about what to do if your points are in the chart? I think Ellie and Pete and Maddie were just looking for a pattern. And we noticed that pattern a couple other days too. I think I even told someone, come back today to talk more about the pattern. Do you remember that? So rise and Y, that helps us find our top number. Run and X helps us find our bottom number. Do we think we're okay with that? Anyone need to ask for more help? Maddie?
For the homework, are we gonna have to graph anything?
There are a couple, like this one.
What do we need on graph?
No, it's already on the paper. Thank you for asking. Also, don't forget, now that we just talked about two of these with a chart, what are you gonna do if there's no chart?
Just write the column.
Call one of them group 1, call one of them group 2, label the X, label the Y. Still, our answers are gonna be those fractions because the slope has to be a fraction.